everybody, Luxinda Swirl here. New day, new Tumbler project. I still want to do a peekaboo. Now I've had a lot of time on my hands lately recovering from surgery, and I've watched a lot of different resin tumbler channels, large and small, and everybody seems to be doing a Christmas peekaboo tumbler. So in order to not do the same thing everybody else has already done, I'm starting with a cup I already made in a different video. I will link to this video below if you've never seen this before and you'd like to know how I made it. I have done some sanding on it, so it doesn't look as bright and sparkly as all of it does where I didn't do any sanding. But I wanted to get it smooth, and we are putting removable vinyl on it that we will take off later, and those spots, even if they've been sanded, will eventually get epoxy resin over them and the sparkle will come back. So you can go ahead and sand before a peekaboo, that's fine. I have a whole bunch of Christmas shapes that I found online, and I used the cut function instead of print then cut. I'm gonna put them all over the tumbler now. This is Cricut removable vinyl, and then we'll work around the cup. Bunch of different shapes. I have candle, candy cane, Christmas tree, stocking, Santa's hat, present with a bow on it. I wanted things that were still recognizable by shape because obviously the drawings on them, they were originally watercolor drawings or watercolor painted items. That doesn't show anymore. Christmas bells, balls, holly with a berry, that sort of thing. Poinsettia. When I have a rip, I run the risk of, there's a tiny little space there between the rip that won't close up. And once I spray paint this, there's a tiny chance that a little bit of paint will get through. I don't really want that, so I'm going to put a bit of tape there. Patch up our rip here. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'll put the last graphic I have on the bottom. I think it'll fit. Maybe, maybe. All right, so what happens now is I put an arm on this and I take it outside and I spray paint it, probably black, because that will make the colors, when we take the vinyl off, pop even more. Be right back. Okay, so now it's a matter of pulling these up. I already did one to make sure I still remembered how. I will not bore you with all of this. I'll leave it in real time for one of them and then speed things along. The trick is not to scratch the paint around what you're trying to pull up, because then it, okay, I think that's it. Just get the bottom one here. It's pretty. And we're back. Okay, so this has a layer of epoxy resin over the whole thing now, and it's set up, dry to the touch. And I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Deco foil adhesive pen. So basically this is a foil adhesive in a pen, probably a little more diluted in order for it to flow. And it works like many paint pens do, where you have to pump the tip. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it again. I did a test. What I was wondering is, would it allow me to basically freehand around the edges of my peekaboos and then foil them. And I thought it would be pretty to use this gorgeous red holographic from the October subscription package from Artistic Painting Studio. I will put the name of this foil up here on the screen, and everything's linked down in the description. That's what I'm going to do. I did a test run here. I didn't use the red. So there is a blue foil outline on my candle Peekaboo here. I'm going to try and do that with the red everywhere else on the cup. I just wanted to test the pen and test it with foils, see if the glue would work, all that sort of thing. And it seems to. I'm just going to start freehanding. It takes about 30 seconds to a minute to dry, so it's way different than the typical Artsyville foil adhesive we use that takes like 45 minutes to an hour. This is much quicker. This is meant for card making. In fact, they show you that. If you watched Anthony Crammen's recent transfer foil video, I'll link to that below and up here in the corner. He used a pen sort of like this. It was a little different, but same idea. But he had to wait 15 minutes for his to dry, which caused him no end of frustration.
Ah, are you absolutely shitting us? It says on here that I have to apply the glue and then I have to leave it for 10 to 15 minutes before I can do anything with it. Why is there so much waiting around for things? I want instant results.
This one is almost instantaneous by comparison. 30 seconds to a minute that's pretty quick. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. It doesn't come out blue. His came out blue. This comes out kind of a milky white. Don't know if you can see it's already starting to dry. A little bit of milky white liquid there. Again, don't know if it shows. You'll have to take my word for it. And I'm not going to make you watch me do all of this. I'm going to do this one gingerbread and I'll put the foil on and you'll see what I'm talking about, and then I'll go ahead and do the rest of it either in fast mo or off camera completely, because you get the idea. I opted to do this instead of cutting like an offset in, say, a red chrome vinyl and putting that on there. This is just a slightly different way to accent the Peekaboo designs. Something a little different than what everybody else does with their Peekaboos. All right, I'm gonna take a piece of foil, put it over everywhere the adhesive is, just like normal. And I could just do this with my fingertip, but I've got I've been calling this a paddle brush. I guess according to Amazon, it's a blending brush. So it allows for a lot of pressure, but it's soft. It won't scratch anything. There we go. So yeah, that looks pretty artisanal or free-handed. There's my gingerbread guy design. I'll try and be a little neater, but you know, it's kind of cool. Sort of like a kid did it. Another one of my silly experiments. Pretty cool. I actually like that. Just something different. All right, so when this is done, I'm going to put a layer of resin over the whole thing. I'll probably use KS Liquid Stone Ultra UV, and I'll probably put some 504 into it. And because there's a lot of black here, I'm also definitely going to put some Marabou Rainbow Alcohol ink into it, because that shows up really good on black. And then the next time you see this, it should be out in the sunshine. Yay!